Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J. Live from the Den, Legacy Internet Radio. We are continuing with our special Halloween show with our special guest co-host, my sister and yours, Shayna Latia. Shayna.
Yes. All right. Moving on along with our psychic medium takeover legacy internet show. You know, this is very different for us. Thank you, Marcus, for allowing us to do this because it just means everything to us to be able to do what we love to do every single day. Coming up next, this girl is amazing. She's a powerhouse. She is... Oh, my goodness. If I have a question about a dream at 3 o'clock in the morning, I know I can text her, girl, I just had a dream. I don't know, the monster was chasing me. I don't know what that's about. You know, she's going to teach us all about dreams. I'm very excited to introduce her. Her name is Tia Marie. She's a psychic medium. Yes, for Tia.
Hi, everybody.
She is a psychic medium, a newly Reiki healer. Congratulations.
Thank
and
you.
She just got accepted into a master's program. She's also a counselor. So we're going to hear from Tia about dreams. We're going to turn it over to you. Of course, audience, if y'all have questions, please feel free because she's very knowledgeable about things that go on in your dreams. And we all have dreams, especially the people who... Especially Satan's,
Especially Satan.
Satan's lawyer.
He fired me, y'all. He fired me.
Especially for the people who say you don't dream, she specializes in that too. So, Tia, welcome. So, what are we going to start on with dreams tonight, my love?
Well, I would like to just start off with letting everybody know that dreams are so very important. That is the relationship that you have with yourself. That is the relationship you have with the outside world and connecting it with the inner world. That's where I want to start. Even though, like Shayna was saying, a lot of people say, I don't dream. Oh, trust me, you do. You do. That's your relationship with yourself. But yeah. So to start off, I guess I could say, if we can go back in history on how I got so into dreams, my dreams when I was a kid was everything. It was like my imagination. It was so much fun to dream. I was looking forward to nap time. Nap time? Oh, yes, let's go. Dream time. So I've always had a connection with my dreams. I remember having these vivid dreams when I was a kid and just waking up like, what was that? That was the coolest thing ever. It's like a whole nother world. I used to, what people would call astral project. I had he's not exactly my guardian angel, but I know he is one of my main spirit guides. And his name is, it's close to the Akasha records. It's actually backwards. His name is Ashaka. And so he introduced himself to me a couple years ago, and I was like, I know you from somewhere. What are you? Then he showed me my dream that I had when I was a kid with him. I was like, oh, I get it. We were traveling. I was asleep, and we were traveling through the universe. And it was just like flying. If you can imagine Peter Pan, we were flying through the universe, just going planet to planet, saying this happens here, this happens there.
To back you up quick on your story. It's okay. I understand. She's the master of the dreams. So what exactly is astral projection?
Okay. Astral projection is where your soul, your body, however you want to call it, your spirit leaves your soul for just some time. It's always going to go back to you, so you don't have to worry about being lost. That's not going to happen. But it just is a point where your spirit exits your body and goes explore the realm, whatever realm it feels like, this realm, the next realm, whichever one it needs to go to learn its important lesson.
What's the difference? How can you tell a difference between, what is astral traveling first?
Astral traveling is similar to astral projection. Astral projection is just your body. Astral travel is your body or your spirit traveling through these different realms. So if I can give an example of when I know I've astral projected was the one I just gave you. But recently I had a few people come back into my life that I was confused about. And so in my dream, I decided to astral project and walk over to them. I knew I was dreaming because I looked at the moon and said, am I dreaming? And the moon did something it wouldn't do in real life. And I was like, yes, I'm dreaming. So I walked there. And I walked to their hotel and I sat in the bed and I asked them, what are you doing here? Why are you in my life? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It helps understand why certain things are happening so that you can understand the lessons.
Wow. Is there a difference between dreaming and astral traveling? Like, is there a mental difference? Like, can you really tell when you're dreaming or astral traveling?
Dreaming and astral projection are the exact same thing. Dreaming, if you can think of God, the level of God compared to the level of an angel, the level of dreaming compared to a certain astral projection. It's just a different type of dreaming. Dreaming is dreaming. It depends on what type of dream you have, though.
All right. Continue with our dream lesson. I'm sorry I have so many questions about dreams. I don't specialize in dreams, so I'm always wanting to know, like, do certain colors in your dream mean certain things?
Yes, they do. Depending on what it feels like. People always go to dream books for an interpretation. There's nothing wrong with that. But you're limiting yourself. You're limiting on what your dream could actually mean to you. Every dream, like I said earlier, is a relationship with yourself. So whatever color feels a certain way to you is the way the dream is wanting to give it to you. So if you dream about blue and blue makes you feel good, makes you feel like you can talk to people, makes you feel free, then that's what the color means to you in the dream.
I got a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
I've had certain recurring dreams.
Okay.
Throughout my life. And I've had certain dreams that recurred when I was younger that I don't have anymore. And I have certain dreams that recur now that I'm older.
Right.
One thing that has always been consistent since I was young is black. I love black. I've always loved black. I just love black. That's why there's a rare moment that you'll ever see me and I ain't got something black on. And I like pink.
Okay.
I'm the rare dude that rocks pink. That's why my mic is pink.
And he won't let nobody else get that mic either. I've been trying to get that mic. No, I want that one.
Yeah, this is my mic. So when you talked about colors, black and pink have recurred with me. And another thing that recurs with me is I can always fly. I can always fly. I'm a superhero guy, but I'm always connected with the ones that can fly. Like, I ain't even rock with Wonder Woman until they switched her up and made her be able to fly. Now I love her. You know what I mean? Like, it's weird. Like, it's weird like that. Like, so
flying is your thing.
Flying is, I always can fly.
Right.
So I don't know. I want to throw that out there because when I met you before, I wanted to specifically hold that until we had kind of a bigger platform to be able to talk about it.
Right.
What you got for me?
Well, specifically to you, you said black is your favorite color.
Absolutely.
Is there a reason why?
How
does it make you feel?
Powerful.
Exactly.
Yes,
your dreams
Marcus.
are reminding you of the very person you are essentially.
Okay.
So when you're dreaming about black, your other favorite color is pink. Is there a reason for that?
Because I am very sensitive.
Okay.
Far more than most men would admit.
And that's okay. That's the
very
other
sensitive
side of you. And for you to share that, it's completing your dream as well. You flying is representing your essential self. You have control over everything that you want to do. You can soar. You can go wherever you want to go. Your dreams are reminding you of that very instant about you. That's why you have this dream reoccurring. That's why it's not over, because it's reminding you of how powerful of a being you actually are.
Wow, that's real dope.
I have a question about reoccurring. So when you have the same dream over and over again, I take it as this spirit is trying to tell you something or there's a message there.
Yes.
What happens when it shifts? Same kind of scenario, but just different. Like,
a little different, right?
Dream like these houses. I'm in these houses. And sometimes I know people and sometimes I don't.
Right.
But the house always switch. And I speak with spirits, so I'm not afraid of them, but sometimes I feel fear.
Right, understandable. The reoccurring dreams that change a little bit represents the situation in your life has changed just a little bit. And it's showing you a reflection of that in your dream. So however it's changed, pay attention to that because that's a lesson in itself. Like I also have house dreams. Like I think house dreams are very important. They represent your essentialness. They represent you. They represent what you keep to you. They represent everything that you decide to keep in your house is a representation of you. Sometimes we have dirty houses like, ooh, maybe I need to clean up a little bit of things about me. Sometimes our houses are spick and span. It's like, ooh, I'm actually doing good right now. Mm-hmm. So it really does depend on the condition of the house, what's going on, what has changed, what have you noticed have changed is what you need to pay attention to.
Tia, I have a question as well. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
I was saying thank you.
Okay, awesome. Tia, I have a question. So I know a lot of times people dream in black and white. Mm-hmm. Some people dream in color.
Right.
Why do most people dream in black and white?
Sometimes we're not open to receiving dreams in color yet because we haven't reached that level yet. Black and white is just what we've been taught or what we've seen throughout our lives as dreams. Oh, this symbolizes a dream. It's black and white. Duh, it's a dream. Nothing else in my life is black and white, so why not? So until we realize that certain dreams, certain colors in our dreams mean something, that's when the colors will be introduced into our lives.
All right.
Our dreams.
Thank you.
Our next question is coming from Laurel. I'm introducing her. Thank you so much for being here, Laurel. She's a psychic medium cook, right?
Well, I wouldn't say that.
Yes, she is. My psychic know what she is. But she was stuck on a flight and almost did not make it here. She just got off the plane, literally.
Wow. Welcome.
Yeah, it's not.
No, she's fine.
I was stuck in Newark. I have many animal dreams. My dreams always come in animals. So the way I was taught from one of my teachers was to not so much look up what the animal totem is,
Right.
but see what the animal does in nature
Mm-hmm.
and see how that fits what. But I dream owls, white owls. I dream foxes. The last time snakes, all kinds of wonderful things. The last one was a rat, or it was a mouse, actually. It was a mouse.
Oh, wow.
My last dream was a mouse.
Okay.
So, can you tell us a little bit more about animal totem dreams?
I am not an animal totem person, but I can tell you anytime an animal presents itself in your dream, there's a certain aspect of that animal that you need to pay attention to, whatever it may be. With you, with it being different animals, it's a changing scenario for you. It feels like it's something that daily occurs to you. Something changes every now and then. So that's what you want to pay attention to is how the animal reacts to you or how you react to the animal. If I can give an example, I remember having a dream about a bear. This bear came charging at me, and I was like, oh my God, it's a bear. So I started running. It's in my dream, so I'm not even thinking about it's a dream. But it starts running at me, and then it stays still, and it looks at me. It just stares at me, and I'm like, aren't you going to attack me or something? And it just shakes its head and sits down and then waits for me to come to it. It was a different type of dream. The animal dream scared me a little bit, to be honest, because it's like, it's an animal. I'm not an animal person per se, so it's different for me than it would be for you.
Yeah, they're very powerful, and they're very symbolic, and
Exactly.
Shay and I have worked with some of my dreams.
She does have very interesting dreams.
I have a question, and it's kind of on the same thing because we did animal totems last week when I was here, and I found out through a shamanic meditation and that I went through that my animal totem is a snake. I don't like snakes, never have, but last night, for some reason, now yesterday was a new moon, so it didn't surprise me. I had a big, long dream. I had this dream, and it started out with like huge snakes, like anacondas, green anacondas, right?
Okay.
And they were like coming up, and I was with some guy, I don't know who he was, but they came up and attacked him. But then I looked at the snake, and I was like, no, and it just went away. And then
Right.
I woke up, and usually whenever I have snake dreams, I'm like scared to death. I'm like, I look under the covers, I think they're going to get in bed with me, something like that. Went back to sleep, had another dream, except the snake was smaller.
Okay.
And it was just like, like a rattlesnake, or it was not a huge snake.
Right.
And then that was okay, and I woke up again, went back to
Mm-hmm.
sleep, had another dream. It was the weirdest thing. And this was a small snake, and it was like a little happy, smiley snake. And I'm like, I have no idea what this means. So
Okay.
And I do animal totem things,
Right.
but I don't know what it means.
To me, it sounds like, especially with you starting off being afraid of snakes in real life and real person, it was a point where you might have been rejecting a part of you, some specific part of you. You were like, no, I don't want this in my life. No, I don't want anything. And so when it came to you in your dream, it's presenting itself. It's like, hey, I'm tired of you ignoring me. I'm here. I'm big, and I ate this man. What are you going to do about it? And so when you said no, that was your, okay, you're here, but you're not going to hurt me. And then when it kept recurring and it got smaller and smaller and friendlier, it's something, a part of you that you're accepting now, that you're wanting to understand and not push off.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, Tia. Hi. I have a two-parter for you. So I also had a dream about a snake. It was green and white. And the serpent represents many things. Like, I'm not fond of them, but they're not like evil creatures because they serve their purpose in nature.
Right.
So I just wanted your take on that. And then I also have had a recurring dream this past month or so. But I'm in a lot of transition, so I kind of understand why. But I've been dreaming about birthdays a lot, mine, some others. And I have a really trusty site that I go to that's normally very accurate. But I
Right.
just wanted to get your take on it.
Okay. About the snake, you said it was green and white.
Green and white.
How did the snake make you feel in the dream?
It was interesting. I just couldn't stop looking at it. It didn't feel malevolent. It was just very. Its
took
presence
you.
was. I felt comfortable with it, but I'm not a snake person, so.
To me, if I can delve on what it feels like, it's this thing that needs you to pay attention to it. It's saying, look, I'm here. I want you to see me. And you saw it. You saw it very clearly. So I feel like something might present itself in your life that is going to give you a moment to stare at it, look at it, take it in for what it is, and understand it on a different type of level. Does that make sense with you? Okay. Then that's what it feels like the dream is presenting itself, especially with it just being there in green and white. Green represents heart chakra, love, unconditional love, just pouring your heart out. Whatever is going to present itself, or if it's not already presenting itself, you're going to want to give your heart to, but you're going to take the time to look into it and see what it is for actually what it is. And the second part, I have short-term memory.
A lot of birthdays. I've been dreaming about me having birthdays, my having birthdays a lot, and it's just been a lot of birthday dreams, and it's supposed to be, from what I understand, success or something like that. But I just want to get your take on it.
I understand. I like to interpret dreams for me, but for other people, I always ask, what do birthdays mean to you?
It depends on whose birthday it is and how much money they have. To be honest with you. And is it VIP?
Okay. It sounds like in your dreams, you said it was your dream? I mean, your birthday?
Sometimes, most of the time. Sometimes it was someone else's. But
And
they
your
were
mom's?
always pretty, they were positive events.
Okay. So it seems like these people in your dreams you want to start paying more attention to in real life, giving them the attention you would on their birthday and everyday life. Just call them up, say, hey, I was just thinking about you. I want to celebrate you. That's all. That's what it feels like to me.
I have a question for you, Tia. You know, I think we all had this dream of that we're falling and then we wake up. What is that? It is horrible. I hate it.
I've had
It's like I can't even really explain it. It's like you're falling, but you're in between waking up and sleeping.
Yes,
But you're not really woke.
It's I think it's fun until I
What
jolt
is
up.
that? What
I'm like,
is
whoa.
that? Because then when you get there, you're like, oh my God.
I have different feelings about that because sometimes it happens when I'm in a time where I'm literally falling. It feels like I'm falling. But
Right.
other
I mean, it
times-
feels so real.
Right, exactly. other times it could mean that you are dreaming so much that you start waking up in the dream and you're falling back into you. Your spirit,
So
your
you're astral traveling, and you're falling back into yourself.
It depends on what it feels like to you, but I've had a few dreams where I'm falling and it feels like maybe I'm about to make a decision that's going to actually make me fall, or it feels like, hey, I was just really dreaming hard and I'm about to just bounce back into my body.
All right. So we're going to open up the phone lines to anybody out there that's listening who has questions on dreams. Our number is 804-402-2893 as we continue our discussion on dreams with Tia.
I got a question for you, Tia. Sure. It's kind of twofold. Okay. I'm a weird guy, man. Let me just preface this by saying a couple of things real quick. I want to get a couple of shout outs in because I didn't do this. First, shout out to Big C. Big C checked in, and I forgot to get his shout out. My sister Melanie in the Shy. I know my brother Lucia has kind of addressed what your question was. Hopefully he did. And if it wasn't sufficient, holler back, and we can make sure we can get that dealt with. So, but love you, Melanie. Thank you for always supporting us here at Legacy Internet Radio, and yours truly more specifically. Absolutely. Absolutely. My sister Bryna always supports ever since the beginning, so shout out to her as well. A couple of quick shout outs. My mama is checking us out, so everybody say peace to my mama, y'all.
Hey, peace to my mama.
That's right. Make sure y'all do that right. Y'all do that right. And peace to my pops as well and whatnot, because I am my father for Halloween.
Oh,
right.
Wow. Hey, Pops.
Yeah,
Peace, Pops.
Yeah, I'm my daddy for Halloween. It's his shirt, too. So, but it's my hat.
Want it back, Marcus.
I got a question for you, Tia. It's twofold. I'm a weird guy because I don't really trip off of nightmares. Like some folks, when they have what would be considered a bad dream, they like wake up in the cold sweat and they're like, oh my God, that was bad. I like horror flicks, and so I kind of put it with that, like, okay, I like Michael Myers and Jason Voorhees and Freddy Krueger, so maybe that's the reason why I don't trip off of seeing crazy stuff in my dreams. I don't know. And then I want you to address that, but also I want you to address something that I know that everybody in the room is thinking. What's this whole thing about if you die in your dream, then you die for real? Like, seriously, what's that about?
You know, I always wanted to know about that. I never really resonated with that personally.
I think that's,
anybody in this room understand that?
I don't know
concept?
Because I've had myself really close to death in my dream, but I've never actually seen my own death in my dream.
Exactly. I personally, if we can start there,
because
I feel like that's the strongest right now.
Okay.
But dying in your dream, I've had so many dreams where I was dying, but I ended up waking up just right here.
Yeah.
You don't ever really die. And same happens in your dreams. It's not a symbol. It's just a transition at the end of your dream. It's just like, oh, I've dreamed where I was underwater and I couldn't breathe, and it's like, and then all of a sudden I start breathing. I was like, oh, I can breathe underwater. And so it's a little different. But at one point I remember blacking out and seeing in my dream that I was going somewhere, and then I wake up and I'm home. And it's like, whoa, did I just die in my dream? But no, you don't ever really die in your dream. It's representing a transition.
Right.
That's all. Just like you would pick the death card in tarot, changing. Something's about to end. Something's about to start.
Right.
And it's just a transition.
What's the thing with the nightmare thing? Am I a weirdo?
No, I don't think you're weird at all. I think you're just used to being, scared, or not scared at movies, not scared at nightmares. Nightmares affect people differently. Every person they affect differently.
Right.
For you, I would say that, like I said, you've just gotten used to having these type of nightmares, gotten used to, you like horror, you like film. I mean, you like all of that scary stuff. Other people, they don't.
Right.
And so the thing is, in the dream, if it's a nightmare, it's because it wants you to remember this urgently.
Right.
This is a severe message, a serious message. They need to get this to you any type of way. So you're going to wake up remembering a nightmare more than you would remember a dream filled with candy and et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
So it depends on your reaction to it. But if you wake up and you're like, oh, that was a nightmare, okay,
I
that's your
usually
reaction.
I
to
usually
it.
wake up like, whoa, that was awesome. Like, and, you know, I mean, I'm not clowning to make a point. Like, I'm telling you, that's like how I wake up. And you know, sometimes you self-analyze, and most of the time when you self-analyze, you don't want to tell other people the pieces of you that you think is weird because you're embarrassed. But I'm kind of open book when it comes to that stuff, because I know I'm weird, and I know everybody on the planet is weird. Most folks don't feel comfortable sharing their weird, whereas I do. So that's the reason why I can share it. Ain't no hashtag with Marcus J, live from the Den, Legacy Internet Radio. You're listening to our very, very special Halloween show. We're in our very, very special dream segment where we're talking to our sister Tia. We've got a question from the Peanut Gallery from one of the usual suspects. You hear him when he feel like coming. My big bro and yours, Big Bro Joe. What's up, man?
Hey, good evening. How are you? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm good. I got you.
Oh, okay. Hey. All right. So let me just say I am happy to be here this evening, seeing all the mediums in the psychics. I'm loving it. But I did have a question for you.
Yes.
It's twofold. Now, I'm probably more strange than Marcus J. For the simple fact that for me, on occasions, I have dreams about things that I've done in my past. I was a soldier. Well, I still am a soldier. But to refine it, 14 years in the military. And I've seen things, and I've done things. And I can remember, and I can just be very honest with you, people that I've had to put down to make sure that I can make it back here, and to protect the people that I had to protect to make sure that they can make it back here. Some people think that's strange. I know it for a fact because I like being here, being able to see y'all and talk. How is it when I see these people and they're trying to reach? Well, first of all, wait, let me stop for a second. Well, look, we think we have a caller on the line. Caller, if you want to go ahead and state your name and what you want to talk about.
Hi, this is Ahura Z.
Hi, Ahura.
Hey, Shayna. How you guys doing?
All
Happy
love
Halloween.
you in here. Everybody wave to the camera for Ahura.
What's up, Ahura?
Now, for everyone who's in the audience who don't know who Ahura Z is everything. He is a ghost hunter. He's a medium. He's a telepath. He does everything. He owns a metaphysical school. He teaches everything.
And his movies.
Oh my goodness. He has movies
music.
coming out. Ahura, I'm so glad that you called. Oh my goodness.
Well, I'm glad to be calling in.
You called early. We wanted you on the segment with me and Lucia, but since you're here now, we're going to get you to talk. Our segment was on spirit versus ghosts, and since Ahura is a master in ghost work and spiritual work and things of that nature, I wanted him to talk about the things he's experienced with ghosts and spirits and the differences between them.
Okay. Well, the difference between the ghost and the spirit, I know that a lot of people mix them up a lot. They think that you see shows like Ghost Hunter and they're trying to contact a ghost. Well, you really can't contact a ghost, and the ghost can't really contact you. A ghost is kind of like a remnant. It's kind of like if you ever seen a snail shell and there's a trail leading up to the snail shell, it's where the snail used to be. In other words, a ghost is just something that's the remainder of what used to be. The spirit, on the other hand, is something that you can deal with. It can interact with you and you can interact with it. That's an actual being. The only difference between the spirit and the person is the fact that the spirit is just without the body. They are still there. They're still conscious. They're still able to communicate, although you may not be able to hear them if you don't have certain attributes. But there's a definite difference between the spirit and a ghost. And there's a difference between what we call a poltergeist, or poltergeist literally means noisy ghost. It doesn't mean something's going to jump out of a closet and take you and drag you to hell or anything like that. It just means a noisy ghost. That's literally what it means. But it also gives a connotation that something is trying to communicate with you. Now, they're angry spirits. There are angry entities. They're angry astral beings that just like they're angry people. But, we have allowed Hollywood to really kind of hype us up on how scary everything is, for the most part, you run into ghosts all the time. You just aren't able to see them. When you do see a ghost and you try to talk to it, you can hear stories of how a person will go over a railroad track and they'll see the same light every single night that really doesn't exist there. There's nobody holding the light necessarily, but it happens there every single night. That's called a ghost. That means that there, at that particular place, there was a heightened state of energy that concentrated itself there. Now, you can create your own ghost. If you actually go and do the same thing every single day for about 10 years, you will create a ghost. You will create an energy center. Okay, and there's a centralized place where your energy gathers and stays there based upon the electromagnetism that is in the air and the electromagnetism that is with you. Now, let's say that there's a traumatic event that happens someplace. The energy that amasses during that traumatic event, which is a mental height, a emotional height, a feeling height, a astral height, an etheric height, a spirit and a soul height, all concentrated at that particular area, at that particular event, will cause a ghost. Do you all follow me? Okay.
Yes, I'm following.
Now, a spirit, on the other hand, is living. It is actually moving. It is going. Now, all energy lives. Okay, that's just the truth. But it is actually interacting with every single thing. Okay, now in the spiritual world, there's no time and space, which basically means that they can be anywhere, anytime. So to go ghost hunting is kind of silly.
So,
truthfully.
major question.
Yeah.
Is there a way for ghosts to become spirits? Or are they just, people pass away, and how do they become ghosts instead of spirits? How does that actually happen?
Well, they don't necessarily, people don't necessarily become ghosts. The energy that the people leave behind become the ghost. Okay? The spirit is the spirit, and it's eternal. When you hear people say they confound your soul or your spirit to hell, that's untrue. It can't be done. Basically there are 5 different bodies. There's a physical body. There's what we call an astral body. There's an etheric body, which joins us all because we live in the etheric field of the earth. That's a long explanation. And then there's a spirit, and then there's a soul. Well, the universe in its wisdom made the spirit and the soul all encompassing. So you can't really mess it up. You can't confound someone's soul anywhere. Your spirit doesn't get affected by your body or anything else. You call it a universal fail-safe. If we had control over our spirit and our soul, basically we'd screw it up, and you all know that. Okay, but the truth being that a ghost is living energy. Now, there is a possibility for that living energy, if there's enough energy around it, to actually give host or rise to a conscious being. That doesn't happen often.
Before you even
Okay.
continue, Lucia was just about to ask you that same question.
I guess it's a good thing you're not telepathic and didn't pick up on that.
We do this all the time.
It can happen. It can happen. Although, because, you look at good and evil. Let's just take that, for instance. Those are both energies. Now, in the beginning, there was no good or evil. Let's just say that, okay? But something happened to cause a split. And those two energies took on lives of their own, which means that they have to be sustained, which means that they eat, which means that they pull people in. Now, any form of energy can do the same thing, and it evolves, and it grows, and it changes to accommodate itself. So, yeah, a ghost can become a spirit. And it's not necessarily becoming as it is evolving. Okay? So, a spirit, on the other hand, can evolve to any place. In other words, if you ask a person, you say, well, where's this person? Well, they died, which basically means they could be anywhere. There's no time and space in the spiritual world, which basically means to run from a ghost is really, really silly. To run from a spirit is even sillier because it can be anywhere at any point in time.
Well, some people are
But we like
afraid
being
of
scared. We like being scared of the dark, so I kind of make fun of it a lot, because I see them every day and I talk to them every day. I don't have to go anywhere. I've even set up an EVP just so that I can do some entertainment while the spirit is sitting there looking at me and asking me what it is that I'm doing. I'm trying to get an EVP. Be quiet. So there's a lot to the spiritual world, there's a lot to the spiritual world as far as ghosts. Now, that being said, I can tell you for a fact, there are astral entities that are spirits that sometimes get angry. And there are those elevations that would be specters or phantoms or ghouls or even demonic entities. And these are very true. These are very real. They are not a joke. And I would love the opportunity to go behind those Ghost Adventure people, the guy with the Astro Boy haircut, and just kind of debunk them and then clean up the mess that they've made. Right. And determine which one is accurate. If they want to find a haunted place, I'll give them a haunted place.
Can you find me a haunted house to buy, horror? Because they cheap. I love to live.
No, they are a bunch of phonies. And I'll say that quite frankly.
Horror, I have a question. This is Lucia. How are you?
Hey, how you doing, Lucia?
Doing well, brother. Doing well. So, question. I'm not sure how familiar everybody is with this, but I know I've heard of like stories of people that are seemingly normal people, with nothing really going on in their lives out of the ordinary. Mm-hmm. And they have things happen, like they feel like they got possessed by a ghost in an instant or in a moment, like when they're driving and then like run off a bridge or.
That's correct.
Yeah. Can you expand on that, please?
It's a temporal thing. So we have to understand what possession actually means. Possession means that you are no longer the person. The original host is no longer in control. Do you understand? It's not part-time. So when there is a temporal, quote-unquote, possession, it's just a step in, okay? And they'll do something, and all of a sudden there's no recollection of anything ever happening. These are very valid. These are very, very true. No matter what anyone says to you, our world is a fantastic world that has all types of entities and all types of beings in it. And at any moment in time, if you're not guarded, if you're not protected, if you're unaware, if you do something that will provoke such acts as an entity coming towards you and stepping in, and mediums take that risk every single day. So if you really want to be able to talk to someone, rather than using that evil thing that's called a Ouija board, I highly recommend you do not touch them. Go to a medium, and the medium is built to do that. They can have this entity step into them, and it doesn't harm them. Now, in the event that there is a possession, then you call a person like myself to get it out. Okay. Usually, if there is a hostile possession, there's an elevation. There's a process to it. It's a curiosity, which becomes an interest, which becomes an obsession, and then becomes a possession. There's usually a deal. There's something that has happened to either provoke a possession or to cause a possession. And many times it could be a step-in during a traumatic event. For instance, if there's a car accident or something like that, there's what we call a walk-in.
Hi.
Sorry.
We're a little pressed for time, but we have audience members here, people of the panel that would like to ask you a question. If that could be, yes, okay.
Hi there. Thank you so much.
Hi, how are you?
Good, thank you. I have a question about certain areas. Oh, this is Shay. Sorry, the numerologist. I like to call you Mr. Unicorn, if that's okay.
That's fine.
Yes, I have a question about certain places or properties, land areas or houses that seem to have kind of like a vortex type of energy where they're like a hotbed for any type of paranormal or like maybe even ET activity. I've lived in more than one place that seemed this way, where it was like, it just seemed like the area was open for more to happen. And then there would be other places where it was like you could just feel the energy was closed. And in these certain places that I've lived, everything from hearing things to things falling down and things that are more poltergeist type of things, and then also just entities and even orbs and things like that. So I was wondering what your take on that was, and like the difference between, I guess, the land and how it facilitates this connection coming through or making it stronger.
Okay. Well, realize that these things go on all the time, but it's kind of like an electromagnetic pulse. It needs energy to operate. So or to operate in this dimension. Now, we live in a prevalently third-dimensional reality, You cannot ignore that. You can't break it. You might be able to bend it to phenomenal proportions, but it will stay. But when the spiritual realm and those beings that are in the spiritual realm manifest here, is because there's a high level of energy or physical energy or kinetic energy that enables them to do that. So when a person sees an orb, it's usually because of the energy of the people that are in form, that are around, even if it's animals or any type of person that walks into a place that would normally be haunted. The haunting is not necessarily haunted, it's occupied. It's haunted because we think that it's just when we see it. You understand? But it's our energy that actually fuels the manifestation. So there's all kinds of activity. It goes back to this thing. If a tree falls in the woods and you're not there, can you hear it? Well, this activity happens all the time. When you go there, your energy heightens, and it's the most amazing thing that happens to humans. You get a group of humans that go into a place that they know is haunted, or they believe is haunted, or they think is haunted, and all of their energy amasses there. Well, the psychic world, the intuitive world, the spiritual world feeds on that, and it enables them to manifest. Okay, so you get all of this activity. Now, we are kind of infinite storehouses of energy, each one of us. And that energy bleeds off of us the more excited that we get. So you get in an emotional state, your energy goes really, 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 really high, which fuels all of that activity. So it gets worse and worse and worse and worse, or stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. And this is just the fact. This is the way that it is. Now, 9 times out of 10, I've got to disconnect the person from the energy of that place rather than connecting the energy of that place from the person. So you get these people that run all over the place, and you visit this haunted place, and you leave your energy there. Your energy is the battery. Do you understand? That causes all of the magnificent rides in this park that we call a haunted house to work.
Thank you, Ahura. Thank you, Ahura. We actually have to go ahead and switch now. So we have one more question.
Thank you.
This is a real short question, Ahura.
Sure.
I hope it's a short question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hi, this is Laurel. Oh, hold on a minute. Okay. What we were just talking about, does that also apply to elementals? Because I remember many years ago, like 35 years ago, which is going to tell you how old I am, I felt like I created this elemental, and it was red, and it scared the daylights out of me. So can you tell us a little bit about elementals? Is that some of the energy that you're talking about?
Well, elementals, they work in a different realm. The elementals make sure that everything keeps operating. Okay, so you didn't create it, but what you did was communicated with it, and you resonated with it. So that's why it showed up. And it's funny how we get afraid of such things. You know, we call something, and then it shows up when we get frightened. But you said it was red, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so if it was red, and it was a blazing red, that means that you are a creative person. You deal in things that are initiative, that take a lot of passion. When is your birthday?
April 29th.
April 29th, that's 2911-2, which basically means that even in your relationships and things, you like to be together with people, but you need to stand on your own. Okay, that enables you to be creative. The moment that you get emotionally involved with someone, then your creativity kind of flatlines. Okay, so here's what I'm going to say. You can have whatever relationship that you want. Just make sure that you're not getting overly emotionally invested in that person. Make sure that you're investing sensually and passionately, and you'll keep your creativity. Okay?
Very good.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ahura. I really, you know how much, and you know how I feel about you.
Yeah, I feel about you.
We're going to have you back on the show when you have your own hour and a half, because you are just such a powerhouse. You have so much knowledge to give us, and I'm just so thankful to even know you. Like, I love you, and everyone here who knows him. If y'all don't know him, you need to friend him, okay? Because he is the real deal. We have to go to break now, so. Marcus.
Okay, good talking to you, Shana.
Love you.
Good night,
I love
Marcus.
you.
Good night, all of you.
Ahura, you're so dope, brother. Thank you, brother.
And when
Thank
we come
you.
back, we got Jane.
Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J live from the Den Legacy and that radio. That was so dope. Like,
Isn't he
yeah,
awesome?
Yeah, like Uhura sometimes.
I'm having him back on the show.
When I listen to Uhura sometimes, like I get so caught up in just like listening to him talk that like I'll lose the clock and everything.
too.
And the next thing you know, it's like whoa. And
He's so
if he,
knowledgeable.
Shayna set it up one day. We have him, like you said, for like an hour or more.
Yeah, we
and
will.
we can just hang out with Uhura. He's got his own stuff
Ask
that he's
Uhura.
doing, and he does his TV
Mr.
show,
Unicorn.
and he's a baker.
The
I mean,
unicorn.
like this dude.
He does everything in life.
Like for real, like we make the jokes about I got 3 jobs, man. You know, he's
the
like
real
he's
deal.
He's an everyman. Ain't no how
Oh,
to step
my
on with
God.
Marcus J. Live from the Den, Legacy Internet Radio. We're gonna take a break, but Jane, tease us. What we doing when
Yes.
we come back? Tease us. Just give us a little bit. Don't give them too much. Just flash them.
Halloween and the moon.
Halloween.
Yes, I love when Jane does the moon. Oh my God,
I said flash 'em and she
it's
said
so
moon.
magical in here.
I said flash 'em and she said moon. Ain't no ass terror. Marcus J. Live from the Den, Legacy Internet Radio. We're gonna take a break. We come back. We're gonna have